if we are being honest, we're probably not going to get to the lesson today. This whole number 4 thing is me kind of on hopes and dreams thinking that we will get to the lesson, but we probably won't. Because I'm more focused on the fact that we have a mini mastery tomorrow, and I'm still writing it. My idea is I'm going to take the literal problems from the homework, not similar, but like the actual, and just make a quiz out of those. So we're going to review some homework problems that a lot of us missed. Right? So all because you missed a homework problem doesn't impact your homework grade. Right? Your homework grade comes out of you engaging with the work and trying. I don't care if you get it right or wrong until we get to the point that I'm asking you to master that, right, and show mastery of it. So I've picked out the problems that seemed to be the biggest issue by literally, as I go through and I check your homework, I just take notes. I just, honest to God, mark down whatever is, you're having issues in 41 with substitution. You're having issues in, I forget which problem, but, which way the axes go. This is independent versus dependent. I just take notes on what I think we're struggling on, and that's what I want to review so we're ready for the mini mastery.
Why don't you use a bigger piece of paper?
Because I'm just going to trash this, because now I know what we need to do for the lesson.
Save trees.
Save trees. Yeah, exactly. So, I know, because that post-it looks a little random, doesn't it?
I heard your rant about how much paper the copy center gives you.
Yeah, because it's 2 wasted sheets every time I place an order. Now, next year, because it won't be my first year through, my orders will be bigger. Oh, I lost the pen already. We didn't even start class and I lost the pen. All right, well,
You lost
there's a pen around the classroom somewhere.
Did you bring
it's
the
right
pens
there.
home?
No. So 31, a lot of us got it right, potentially, partially. But some of us didn't pay attention to the fact that we wanted mean and median. Median tends to be the easy, well, I don't know, it depends on how you think. Median means what? Middle. And today, most of it, you guys can just shout out because I'm not going to call in specific people because I don't want to make you nervous. So median means middle, so we have to put these in order. So 2.5 is our lowest. Then 3, 3.25, 3.5, 4, 4, 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So if I start crossing numbers off, and I wouldn't actually cross them out maybe, I end up getting 3 crossed out. Sorry, this should have actually been scooched over because that goes with the 3.25. So cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out. 3.5 is our middle point. If you had an even set of data, this is not for this problem, but since we're talking about median, let's imagine that 3.5 is not our median. We don't have the 6. Let's say they take away your 6 from this situation. How do we find the median when we have an even set of data?
So you'd find you'd cross out 3 and you get to the middle of between 3 point, right there. So you add those two, so you add them, you add them together and then divide by 2.
Which actually is finding a mean. When you have to find the median between 2 numbers, you're actually finding the mean of those numbers. Right? So if you have an even set, there's an extra step. But fortunately, here we have the odd set. If I can get the 6 to come back. So then mean, we just literally add them all up and divide by 7. So if we put a plus, 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 divide by how many you have, what's your mean come out to be?
3.75.
3.75. So your average distance is 3.75, which if you're training for a 5K, how far is a 5K in miles?
2, 3.
A lot. 3.
5.
It's about 3.2, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to train for a 5K, these were a bit shorter than your race is going to be, but then you have some runs that are longer, so you get really well trained, because you want to train harder than what you're going to compete. Nick?
You said the median is 3.
Here it's 3.5.
Wait,
But then I showed a what-if situation. So when we have an odd set of numbers, right? We have 7 numbers here. We cross out. No, I want exactly what I wanted. Cross out, cross out, because we're looking for the middle. Cross out, 3.5 is the only thing that remains left. Then I showed the what if you had an even number of numbers, because it's harder. So, for example, because I'll come back to this, I'll come back to that slide. If our numbers that we had here in this set that we were trying to find the median for, let's say 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 14, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. The problem is we have 2 numbers in the middle. I need 1 number in the middle. So we figure out, oh, in the middle of those is 8.5. That would be the median here in an even set of numbers. Does that make sense? But when we have an odd set of numbers, the median is one of our values, because we can chop 3 off and chop 3 off and find a middle.
Wait, but then look, so then 3.5 and 6 miles crossed out, 2.5 and then 4 miles crossed out, and then 4 miles and 3 miles crossed out, leaving 3.25.
This is the middle. So these are 3 crossed out, right? The 3 lowest. These are 3 crossed out, the 3 highest. They have to be in order. 4, 4, 6. These are just all whole numbers. Are you with me now?
Okay, I didn't put them all from the low side.
That you have to.
Okay.
You can't just use what they give you. You have to put them in order to be able to find the middle.
Okay.
Right? That's like saying, who's got the middle height in this room? And me just saying Olivia because she's in the middle. That isn't how, we'd have to line up smallest to tallest, right, and then find the middle. Now, it might be Olivia, but it's not because she's sitting in the middle of the room right now. We'd have to put you in order first. Cool?
Can we do that?
No, because I don't have time. But maybe at some point. We can do human data. That's statistics, guys. When you're talking about collecting data on people or things, that is statistics. And I tell you those things because, guys, I spent a long time not knowing what certain branches of math or certain words meant. Guys, a lot of people are trying to make these harder than they are. And if you look at the very back of the sheet I just gave you, there are area problems. So you don't have to, because I told you to put this away. But, okay, not the very back, the back of the front page. There are area problems right here. And I put a key, not really like a key, but I put your formulas right here. So, actually, if this is easy to access, you can pull this out and double check your area formulas here. I'm going to show it on the dot camera just to give us a reminder. What is a parallelogram really? What could we say? Well, a parallelogram's essentially
a rectangle.
How, Araya?
Because if you take that little triangle, that the dotted line where the triangle is, and
Yeah.
move it over to the other side, and it just makes it.
Oh, so notice I don't give you rectangle area formula here because it's easy. You know it. You should have it memorized. Base times height. But parallelogram is the same thing. They chopped a piece off your rectangle and moved it to the other side. So quit looking at parallelograms like it's a complicated shape. It's a rectangle. We just chopped a piece off and moved it over. What's complicated here is which dimensions do we use? Because you will fall into the trap of thinking it's a rectangle and you'll use the edge. We don't. We need the base and height to be perpendicular. So if you need to make a note here, this means base is perpendicular to height. This symbol means perpendicular, and you can even give it a little right angle if you want. So what we're looking for is where is the base perpendicular to a height? Now, often kids will say, well, could 18 be the base? Yes, but if 18 was the base, our height would be coming up like this, and it would be different. So with us not knowing this red line, we have to instead use what I have in blue here, so our area becomes 27 times 17. And our area ends up, after that multiplication, 450. 59. I mean, somebody verify that for me. I don't know. Inches squared. Any questions on this? Guys, even if you got to check on your homework, you should be going with me to double check that you did these correct. If you didn't turn in your homework yet, or you got to check minus for some reason, you should totally be with me. So pretty much everybody should be with me. Afternoon, people, I'm watching you.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, I can't really watch.
Can you admit to after class that we're your favorite class?
You're my favorite AM class. So there are multiple ways.
So we're better than the math two.
There are multiple ways to write the triangle area formula. Yeah, you guys have to put in more effort. So quite honestly, I mean, they're more fun because I can go super deep with them. I shouldn't really say it like that. The math we do together with those kids, I find really exciting because it's hard for me. This math isn't really hard for me anymore. The high school math still kind of is. Like, that math still makes me think, like, and question, am I right or not? Here I just have to make sure that I calculate correctly.
Or your favorite, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
we have recorded evidence now.
you're my favorite AM Math 7.
No.
Alright, can we move on, please? I have decided, literally just this year, 8 years in my teaching career, that this is the best formula for area of a triangle. Because when we go to type it in the calculator, this involves the least amount of button punches, right? Which makes your life easier. And I've told you, I'm here to make your life easier. So a triangle is a rectangle cut in half. I was waiting for people to think I've lost my mind. A triangle is a rectangle cut in half. Because if we drew a rectangle and cut it in half, that would make sense to us. But the thing that you guys don't realize, or a lot of people don't realize, is any triangle actually takes up half the space inside the rectangle. So, again, our base and height have to be perpendicular. Base is 20.75, height is 9. We then divide by 2. So in your calculator, all you would need to type is 20.75 times 9. You hit the enter button, and then you just hit divide 2, because it will drop the answer from the previous calculation you did into that space. So this makes your life easier. So I'm here for this. This then becomes 93. Any questions on that? I need a label. Guys, if you don't have a label, get in that habit, because on the mastery tomorrow, I will mark it, not wrong, but I will just write like label question mark. I'll mark it with a question mark. So you need to go back and fix a little bit. All right?
Isn't area in like inches or feet or whatever square?
Always
And
squared.
then perimeter is just like regular?
Yep. Question? I'm trying to exhibit good weight time. When you get annoyed by the vibrations of the machinery, just tell yourself you're in a spaceship. Hurling through the...
It's also apparently underwater.
That is apparently underwater. You don't know if you got this right or not. Because I don't mark right or wrong on your homework, so I need you attentive with me, checking, did I do that step in the same order? Right, we'll get to the answer eventually, but I want you checking your steps. And guys, on the quiz, I'm going to specifically tell you this. And if you don't work vertically, I will tell you to do it again. Because I'm trying to help you, help your brain not be confused. Right? I'm trying to help you have clarity. So, when we think about Pemdas, I'm just going to write it right here in the middle. The biggest issue some people are still having is that multiplication and division are one thing. They're both multiplication. Remember how we talked about divisions made up?
Yeah.
Same thing with addition and subtraction. So, excuse me. Subtraction is addition. So when we get to that point, we're not doing addition then subtraction. We just go left to right. Please be careful of that trap door. So parentheses, can I do 8 minus 4? Yeah, I can do that. So we're going to start solving this. We drop it down. 8 minus 4 is 4. If I strictly follow the order of operations, I don't do that yet. Now you could. You could have gone ahead and squared 4 because it doesn't do anything else. But if we strictly follow, we've done the parentheses now. Check on your paper, did you do that first? Now, if you merged the P and the E, you'll also have that this is 16. Because 4 squared, and some of you probably wrote this down as 8. 4 squared is 4 times 4, not 4 times 2. And 4 times 4 is 16. Again, you can use your calculator. Eyes over here. Your square button on your calculator is the x squared. What that means is the number you typed in is the x. It will just put the power on. If you want to use a different power, 3, 4, 20, 17, I don't care. The caret is how you raise something to any power. So if you hit the caret, then you could just put 2. So if you hit 4 caret 2, it will square your 4. Or you can hit 4 and the x squared, and that will square your 4. Any questions on how to use a calculator to help us with that? We've done the P. We've done the E. So now I move on to multiply, divide. There's no division, so that's nice here. 3 times 4, 12, plus 16, minus a 5. I don't really need it in parentheses anymore. And now I'm on to add, subtract. Yeah, 12 plus 16, I get 28 minus the 5. This is the only step where I would maybe be okay with you working horizontally. If you write an equals out here and put 23, now still, you like the better way is just drop it straight down and circle. Yeah, that happens. Now you guys can always grab Post-its too, like and add a Post-it to your paper. I got a really good laugh out of, who was it? I want to say, I forget who it was, but they, Maya. She was absent and she was doing her revision, and she had a little Post-it and she had folded it so it would actually fit in my bin. On the outside it said, "Open me for the work/answer." And you opened it and there was all the work and answer. It was cute. What? And it was right. That's what I care about more than it being cute. It was right.
Why do people call it everything cute? Like a Post-it note, a triangle.
Why are little things cute?
A triangle. An angle. Alright, so starting over. Up at the parentheses. Are there parentheses to do? No. So we didn't do it, but we move on. Exponents?
Yes.
Yes. So I dropped down everything that did not change. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, even if you thought the wrong thing about the exponents, you probably got that right. No other exponents to deal with. Multiplication, division. 7 times 4 is 28. Sorry, I probably shouldn't just put a line there. 3 times 8. And now we're on to add, subtract, right? We got to work it left to right. 28 minus 24. Any questions? For the sake of time, nah, never mind. We'll do all of it. If I run out of time, I run out of time.
What's your favorite student?
C, Nick, please stop asking off-topic questions. I would really like to get through the content that I need to get through. Thank you. Minus a negative is plus a positive. So 7 minus negative 3 turns into 7 plus 3. Now still, I don't do that first though. I have parentheses that I can do. So negative 4 plus a 3, negative 1. Right, 7 plus 3 would technically drop down because I didn't do them yet, quote unquote. And then this is 10 plus a negative 1, comes out to be a 9. Again, the only point when I would let you work horizontally is at the very end, and really just if you were running out of space. D, no, oh yeah, we do have parentheses. So drop what doesn't change. 3 times 2 is 6. Technically,
I see it now.
technically, we shouldn't do the 5 squared first. But guys, we could. Once you get really comfortable with order of operations, this parentheses has nothing to do with this exponent. So you could do both. I didn't because I want to help train you the right way. Minus 4, guys, I would way advise you. Everyone should be checking this one because a lot of us probably got this wrong. Minus is the same as plus a negative. And because that number is part of a multiplication, it's safer if I rewrite it as plus the negative. Now still, I have that 5 squared, but I can do the 5 squared now. What's 5 squared? 25, because it's 5 times 5. Questions to how I got to this point. So I'm moving kind of quickly, and this is like part 4 of the deep order of operations stuff. So then, multiplication, negative 24. What's a negative 6 plus a negative 24? And a negative 30 plus 25? Equals negative 5. Any questions on anything we've done so far? Okay, pull that 522. We're going to talk about 39 real quick. My very, 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 very best advice to you, write out all these numbers. Come on, smart boy. 1 through 20.
Is it okay if we just looked up prime numbers?
That's fine. Now be careful though, because there is a debate about 1, depending on what site you would look at, and that's why here they said prime or 1. They go ahead and lump 1 in with it, because some people will tell you that 1 is prime, and like that's not wrong. It just depends on how we're like technically classifying prime numbers. Like the mathematician school of thought is that 1 is not prime because it is its own like special number. Prime is any other number like higher than 1 that has that qualification. So if we look at multiple of 3 or multiple of 7, guys, I'm going to go through and grab all my multiples of 3 first. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Then, or, it's not and, it's not making it harder, or makes it easier. Actually, you might want to write that down. Or gives you more options. So actually, here, I'll do this in blue. So 7, well, that's not a very good blue. But 7, 14, well, that's it. But how many numbers did we highlight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be 8 out of 20.
Simplifies to 2 out of 5.
Oh.
8 out of, yeah, so check your answers, guys. We're going to have problems very similar to this on the mini mastery. So I'm trying to get rid of all the highlighting. So now, if we look at prime or 1, let's go ahead and make that green just so it shows up. Well, okay, so 1, and we talked about this yesterday, I think. 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 5 is prime, 7 is prime. 9 is not prime, because 3 and 3. And guys, even numbers can't be prime, because even, like anything even higher than 2 has 2 as a factor. So all these bigger even numbers we don't even have to think about. 11? Yeah. 13. 15's not. 17 is. 19 is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here, C would be 9 out of 20. And D, you didn't really need an answer. I just left that there as in, like, make sure you could explain it. Because on the mastery, actually, I shouldn't, like, fake whisper because I'm recording. Because on the mastery, if I ask you, explain how you know, you're going to need to write out for me. I highlighted, or whatever, I identified all the numbers that are whatever thing I asked you for. And then, like, a lot of times we'll do, like, multiple of 4 or multiple of 5. Like, multiples of 5s are nice. Any questions on that probability question? I should write these out just in case the afternoon class couldn't hear me. So what did we say for A? Unreduced, 8 out of 20, which then Eric told us is 2 out of 5 if we reduce. For B, we said 9, wasn't it? Or sorry, B was all of them.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about B. Even or odd, guys. 2, 4, 6, 8, like it's 20 out of 20 because they're all even or odd. Prime or 1 is 9 out of 20. So if you couldn't choose B and you were looking for good probability, choose C over A. C is just slightly better than A. This one I was looking for, and guys, what I'm going to ask you to do on the mini mastery is specifically draw one of these diagrams. It's okay if you didn't, but the rainfall they expect in the year is 12 inches. That's your 100%. They got 2.4. Now, some of us were pretty quick to play the 10% rule. Hey, Sarah, I should really have your attention up here, not on the posters back there. 10% of 12, we divide by 10. So that's 1.2 would be 10%. If I put 1.2 as 10%, how do I go from 1.2 to 2.4? It's times 2, so this would be 20%, which means it's after you're looking for this section, which is 80%. Questions? The other thing you could have done is just do the division, which some of you did.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
And you got 0.2, which is 20%. And that tells you, well, if we've already gotten 20%, we only have 80 left. Questions? By the way, I climbed up on the roof and took some pictures. We'll show them to you at forum so you guys can see what's going on with construction.
Johnson, there was another way to do the one for that 540. What you could do is that you could take the number of the rainfall that 9.6, and then convert that into a fraction. Yeah, and then make that simplify that down, and then
Thank you very much. That's absolutely right. There's almost always another way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you get creative with the math, there's almost always another way to do it. 41 is substitution, and I think a lot of us goofed this up, so please put your eyes on your 41. They have given us an expression, because there's no equals, right? This, 2x squared plus x plus 6, this is an expression. We are going to find the value, evaluate, find the value, right? We're going to evaluate. I once had a student who thought he was really funny, just like I think I'm funny. And on problems at the beginning of the year, when it said evaluate, he'd write like, I think that's a good equation. He'd like, evaluate, like, it's yeah. But evaluate, some people seriously have issues with the vocabulary that we throw at you on these state tests. Simplify, evaluate, reduce, like they make a lot of different words just to say solve, right? Do the math is all this means. And what they're having us do is substitute. So we're replacing x with the value they gave us. And the issue is a lot of us are still goofing up squaring. 3 squared has to happen first before the multiplication does. So 3 squared is 9. This is 2 times 9. Then plus 3 plus 6. Well, 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 3 plus 6. That's another 9. So this is 27. Follow me on B, because B is really dangerous, especially if you use the calculator. You probably got it wrong. This is where calculators cannot be trusted. Unless you type things in very specifically, your calculator will, if you type in -2 squared, your calculator squares the 2 and then puts on the negative, which is wrong. It's right according to what the calculator was taught when we trained it, but we're doing -2 times -2. What's a negative times a negative? A positive. -2 squared is 4. So this becomes 2 times 4 plus -2 plus 6. So that's 8 plus negative. Yeah, this is where you probably got it wrong, and that's okay, but on the quiz, you're going to want to get it right. I'm going to put my positives together first, and because commutative property, right? So I get 14 minus 2 is 12. Now, C was not really a trick, but it was kind of tricky.
Couldn't you just put, like, if you, instead of doing -2 squared in your calculator, just do -2 times -2?
Yeah, you could, yeah. What's 0 times itself?
0.
What's 2 times 0?
0.
What's 0 plus 0?
0.
Plus 6?
6.
Okay, this is 6. And for the sake of time, I'm going to leave D for you guys. We would square the 5, get 25 times 2 would be 50. Plus 5 plus 6 should be 61.
Yeah.
D should be 61. A lot of us got this wrong or drew the graph wrong. Everybody look at this problem. When we are drawing axes, no matter what we're doing, one rule has to apply. The direction of positives and negatives. So somewhere on your paper, please draw this. Up has to be positive and down has to be negative. Right has to be positive and left has to be negative. I had people, many people, so if you did this, don't feel bad, but I had a lot of people who were drawing a vertical axis, like fine, they were numbering it like going up, and then they were coming this way, and they were saying -1, -2, -3. You cannot do that. We're not allowed to make right negative. So instead, we have to move this and make the x-axis go left. Because before we start, we want to analyze x is negative, x is negative, x is negative, x is negative. All of my x's are negative. Y is positive, y is positive, y is positive, y is positive. So I need positive y and negative x. I need this quadrant. So what we're drawing here, guys, this is why I gave you this problem and why I gave you the graph space and why I checked this problem on every single person's homework. The area is 30, by the way. A lot of us got that wrong. We're going to talk about y in a second. We need this quadrant, so we're going to draw an axis up and an axis left. So what your grid space should end up looking like, I'm going to draw this kind of heavy. Is something like we don't care about any of this space out here. We only care about this space. If we label, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we keep going. We have -1, -2, -3, because they have to go out left. So that's -5, 8, 9. Here's -10. Please be bold and ask me if you have questions right now. A lot of us drew the axes wrong, which actually, you can still get the right answer. Your shape will be flipped the wrong direction, but you can still get the right answer for area. Funny enough, even if you draw the axes wrong. Area was 30. So we have -3, 2. negative 8, 2. I'm actually going to drag this down so I can see it a little bit. I'm going to erase over here. Guys, remember, x is your first number, y is your second. So, negative 3, positive 2, negative 3, positive 2, right there. Plus you, negative 8, positive 2, negative 8, positive 2. Negative 10, positive 8, negative 10, up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And a couple of us missed that this point existed. A couple of us missed that that point existed. Just because it was on the next line down. Negative 5, positive 8. Yeah, so you made a triangle accidentally instead. So when we connect these, it's a parallelogram. Because if we imagine chopping off this triangle, it could come over here and actually make this a rectangle. But, give me your eyes. Parallelogram is just like rectangle, base times height. Right? They have to be perpendicular. How wide is this shape? How big is your base? 5. How tall is it? This is a 5 by 6 parallelogram. There will be a question like this on your mini mastery. Questions remaining on this question. Right.
If we turn it the wrong direction,
I mean, like, unless you have a check minus that you need to take care of, nobody needs to redo problems. I just wanted to show you what issues I saw and make sure we talked about them. So hold up, I'm going to see if I can sneak in one more problem. But long story short, 5 to 6, the homework you picked up today is obviously like, we're maybe going to start that tomorrow, but I care more about getting you a mini mastery and us like getting some feedback. So don't stress about that homework. It's going to go into next week. Okay, the due date is probably going to change. Remember what we said in the family room? We might push due dates later. We'll never make them sooner. Right? Give me your attention real quick, just as as you pack up or whatever. I have like 1 minute left. When we talk about independent or dependent, it's all about, did the system reset? So what we have to ask ourselves in these situations is, did we reset? So in A, does a spinner's first spin impact the spinner's second spin? No. So this is independent. There will be one of these on the mini mastery too. Does the second draw get impacted by the first draw if the card was not returned? Yeah, so that's dependent, right? It gets impacted. Does the second draw get impacted if the first draw is replaced? No. So these are independent. And D, if the cooler is full of lemon lime.
Dependent.
Does you getting a soda affect me getting a lemon lime soda?
No, because it's all the same.
They're
There's
all
no
the
other different kind of soda.
So that's not dependent, that's independent.
Oh, yeah.
Each of our draws are independent of each other because you have a 100% chance, I have a 100% chance. We're all going to end up with Sprite or whatever lemon lime we chose. That's all the time I got. Have a great day, guys.